Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews. It's Gaming Friday. I'm Gary.
I'm Geoff.
And I'm Jess.
And over in the corner, quiet as ever, we have Monty. And today we are playing Killer Instinct Season 2. Although I don't have any of the content for Season 2, Geoff.
Yeah.
Just Season 1.
Yeah. Well,
So-
we're not really playing Season 2, are we? We're playing Season 1, which has got lots of things in there to try to get you to buy Season 2 as well.
Yeah, which is, 50% off at the moment. But, or is it, £8 or £16?
You can get the characters, can't you? You can get the characters and some of the extra gubbins and the extra training room and stuff like that for only £8. So, yeah, they've given... They just recently gave Season 1 away as part of the... Lost Leader, I guess, or as part of the free game of the month for
Was that
or
Live?
The Xbox Gold
two-
giveaway
yeah,
was...
the Xbox
yeah.
Gold giveaway.
So Season 1 for free.
Yeah, so as you can see, Season 2 characters are all greyed out. You can't play with them, but you can play against them, can't you? So say you go online,
Yeah.
you'll be able to play against them or play against them in your training room or something.
It does
But-
seem an incredibly small selection of characters, even with the all of them, especially for £42.
Well, there are a lot of costumes.
It's only...
And there are the
I don't
there
think
is a
that's
couple of I don't mean to be the salesperson for the game, but there are a lot of costumes. Plus, they also have their retro skins as well. So there is enough variation to keep it refreshing. But of course, yeah, the movesets are going to remain the same.
So for anybody who doesn't know what Killer Instinct is Street Fighter mechanics, but with characters which were clearly ripped from pretty much every beat 'em up around in some way. Yeah.
Indeed.
And yeah, like the mechanics are pretty straightforward, and I've got to say, like, I like a bit of Street Fighter. You like a bit of Mortal Kombat, don't you?
I've been a fan of the Soul Calibers. I've played the Soul Calibers,
Yeah.
the
I've
Street
played
Fighters,
that
Mortal
most.
Kombats, Tekkens, and even the ones that I've just forgotten to mention. I've
Yeah.
played and dabbled with all of them. I fell out of love with Soul Calibers.
Yeah.
The Tekkens I played 1 through 6, including the tag tournament ones. The Street Fighters, I lost track of how many different versions of Street Fighter 2 I played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Mortal Kombats I played 1 through 10. Oh, sorry, take it back. I've not played the latest one yet,
Oh.
which I do still intend to get around to once I
Right.
finally finished Fallout.
Which Fallout? Which Mortal Kombat's the latest one? 10.
I think it's Mortal Kombat 10, yeah.
Yeah.
It is, yes.
And that's sort of like ultra violent, silly, crazy. But the graphics are quite similar to this, aren't they? They're sort of like
It's
semi-realistic.
I think I've almost
style.
got this.
It's kind of cartoony, but
Maybe not.
kind of cartoony, but also like not like proper toony, like Capcom's other Capcom's all the Street Fighter lineups are all very cartoony, aren't they? Whereas Mortal Kombat was always a bit more like trying to be like slightly realistic
and a
looking
movie. It was the
graphics.
most movie-like because it tried to tell a story in the fights.
So Soul Calibur also had sort of an art design that was a bit sort of like more nicer looking. So yeah, these have got all these in them, but they clearly have like some clear homages to other characters. I mean, look at him. That's from? This guy's from Tekken, is it? The flipping Indian dude, and he's also in Street Fighter.
there's
got
also
one
an
like
Indian
that.
dude in
You are
Mortal Kombat.
You've got to remember there is.
Right. So he's like the cliched character.
No. But you got to remember this is actually a sequel. Has been others. So a lot of these characters are ripped from their original IP. So whether or not they predated those characters in those games, I won't say.
I think it was the early 90s that
this
this
guy
game came out in the
this-
arcades as well as
Yeah.
on Nintendo.
This guy looks like he's directly ripped from Soul Calibur. Like
Well,
he
he's
could
like
have
the
just come
Cervantes
straight out.
undead pirate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they've clearly. I mean, who she's like, I'm not quite sure.
She's like Sonya, maybe, from Mortal Kombat as well.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like
Any ninja. you've
Ryu
ever played.
or Ryu.
Well, he
or
plays like
Ryu.
Ryu and looks like the guy. What's his name?
Looks like Shredder.
No, he looks like the one in Mortal Kombat,
Scorpion.
Scorpion, and the two that like the ice dude, or whatever. Fucking.
I'm not about to say Mr. Freeze.
I'm
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero, that's it. Yeah. I'm not into the Mortal Kombat, but yeah.
Okay, so
I
you're
can't
playing
remember their names.
as Jago once more, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I should have chosen someone else.
You should have done, because
I
I
was
can't
just-
beat you when you use this guy. As you can see, I've probably played this game for about 2 hours now. I got this game on the day that the Xbox One came out. It was what, the end of when was it? 2014? Early 2014 maybe? I'm not too sure. And yeah, it was a free download, but you could only play as one character at the time, and that was Jago.
Right.
Unless you started purchasing the individual characters,
Fuck
which,
yeah, now, that's a
of
bit
course,
of a
it
naughty
was a
pay
bit of a
scheme.
trend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a bad start to the Xbox lineup, I think. I think most people agree Microsoft weren't making very good decisions around that.
that is correct.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that. Well, I mean, the model that this game set up has continued in other fighting games. I know that there's not so many anymore, but even Mortal Kombat has gone, hey, buy this character, buy the Jason Voorhees
that's
character.
the season
or-
pass crap that you get with AAA titles, though. It's a trend that is kind of unfortunate.
Well, it's a trend that this game pretty much started. I mean, obviously the trend of DLCs and fucking microtransactions and everything's been around, and it's bled into everything.
Yeah.
But it was obviously quite apparent when this game came out that was how it was headed.
But then again, you've got like Street Fighter saying there'll be more here. Not the newest one, just the rest of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The newest one, they're gonna bring out more heroes for you to play as over the coming months. Essentially, it's gonna be a little bit paywalled. I think. I hope they're free, but I have a feeling that you'll end up having to pay for those extra heroes. And like people,
who's this? What?
Street Fighter, the newest one.
Street Fighter 5?
Yeah, they've not even put in. Oh God, who is it? Sagat's not in it. No, is it Sagat? I'm getting this probably wrong.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't comment because I haven't really examined any of Street Fighter 5. I got Street Fighter 4 and I got Super Street Fighter 4 Turbo or whatever it was. And they're both excellent games. The thing is, I was trying to play online with the community, and the standard of the community on the 360 was exceedingly high. And I was like, right, I'm going to need to play this for like 3-4 months of just continuous training just to be able to beat anybody.
Isn't that now the case, though, with every single versus game like this? That if you pick it up and play and go and play online, you're going to get floored. They're going to get flawless victories against you time and time again. Because there's no sort of intermediate easy ground on these games anymore. It's just people that are veterans at these games and
they keep playing
filthy casuals like myself.
There are some games which lend themselves to the button bashers a bit better, but they're not the ones which tend to be the favourites. And the ones where obviously people want to like show their skills are the ones which have the really high, like sort of gameplay depth and will carry it on, and so that you can really feel like you're an uber badass because you've practiced for months to be able to do the stuff that's on in there and juggle your characters and do these fucking massive combos. And yeah, and in the standard of competition is all down to whether or not like the community's there. So
yeah,
you got Mortal Kombat's and your Mortal Kombat's and your Street Fighters, they've got the communities. Whether or not Killer Instinct's got the community to be able to give you that level of continuous competition online,
it did
I don't know.
successfully enough to warrant getting a season 2.
That's the meat of that could be the muscle of Microsoft, mate. They could throw a bit of money at it because they just wanted to make sure.
And they also wanted to keep the
don't want to lose space. It's a business choice, so they're not going to cost them a lot to make 9 more characters.
I gotta say that as a beat 'em up, it seems pretty solid. It's got all the features, and it seems like they definitely wanted the community to follow it because they even give you like quite a lot of details about the characters when you're playing. It's like all your frame timings and your move timings and stuff. They actually do tell you that as part of it.
I don't got this.
But I will add, Gary, I remember a while back you were playing Tiberian War, one of the Command & Conquers, and the community on that becomes so elite online, or was it actually...
Right, you'll go, Jez.
Oh, I don't know.
Come on, Jess, give me a
seat
match.
swap.
Yeah.
But
We're rematching. Okay, straight into it. Okay.
what colour am I?
You're the black guy.
Oh, that guy.
You're the guy with the ginger guy.
Take the black ginger guy. Oh no! It's gonna get picked on.
I'm just gonna spam some of these buttons, and eventually, one of our health bars will go down.
Yeah.
Cool. But basically, you were playing like Command and Conquers, and the one thing I always felt about those online was you always had a bit of elitism on that, even without
Yes.
actually any.
Well, I mean, it's the same in most
Oh,
games,
that's
I
what
guess.
now
But
I'm
it's just
expecting.
the learning curve for these games is so much harder because it's about remembering combos with different characters
Oh, I know.
and then learning
I was okay
how to
back
counter.
at Street Fighter 2, but I kind of lost it after that. I've got the new Street Fighters on the PC, but I've never got around to playing them.
The secret to beat 'em ups. I mean, I can only tell you from my relatively limited, but at least got into it for like a couple of months and really did a bit of studying. It's all about like the frame timings of your moves. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
And it's about knowing the distances that you will cover with all your moves, and so it's about being able to judge that distance and use the correct thing for the correct distance, testing a little bit of rock paper scissors going on with the high, medium and low
I don't know what
attacks. and then then it comes down to pure skill in being able to execute the combos.
Yeah.
But Street Fighter has kept that, if you're gonna do a massive
Well, he didn't
combo
do-
where you juggle the character, you have to be able to do that. Like the Street Fighter 4 anyway, you have to be able to do that by actually putting out the sequences in precise, correct timings. Things like Mortal Kombat, they're like, well, we just want people to be able to pull the moves off a lot easier. So you can do these kind of really easy pull off this super move by just flicking the stick this way or pressing this button. And then it condenses the fight down to pretty much all about using your distance and knowing the moves, knowing the frame timings, and knowing the opponent you're going against.
Yeah.
So this is like a bit of both, I guess. But it's got the Street Fighter style to it. So I think if you play Street Fighter, you'll come to this slightly easier than if you're coming from Mortal Kombat.
Which is
because-
where I've come from, and I have
Yeah.
got to say I've coming straight into this game. It felt like I've run straight into a brick wall. I commented after my first sort of 20 minutes at the game that I had an easier time on Dark Souls than walking into this game. I felt like this game had set an ambush, a trap for me.
Yeah.
Because I was getting spread across the walls, the pavement, the ceiling. I needed to be scooped up with a shovel.
What I would need to do to get you to start kicking ass on this game, guys, I'd have to take you into Street Fighter, and I'd take you into the training modes on Street Fighter, give you an arcade stick so you can really kind of get the feel for how these play out, and teach you Street Fighter timings and Street Fighter distances.
Yeah, 'cause this is going to be one of the most embarrassing fights. There's just two people picked up the controllers and just started attacking the buttons.
But if I was to teach you, I think you'd still need about a week of solid practice to even begin to start pulling off.
And I've got to say, I mean,
combos.
I am button mashing right now, and I'm
Yeah.
getting finger fatigue
Yeah, I'm kind of
after 20 minutes, and it's
I'm
like
getting cramp in my right hand.
Yeah.
so. I mean, I think is it an age thing? Am I now too old to really be playing these games?
No, you need the practice.
Oh, I missed that cool lightning thing. I don't know what I was doing.
The depth of skill is enough that you can't expect to come at this game without some structured education
Oh, I
before
messed
you
your
play.
face up.
Essentially, you need to do some studying. Essentially.
Okay, well, I have no idea what the story in this game is like, or what it's
Yeah.
even about. I played Killer Instinct on the Nintendo. It wasn't really much of a story.
Yeah.
The reason why I play Mortal Kombat is for all of the characters' storylines.
Okay.
And I'd say, unlike Geoff, I don't like the story mode and cutscenes because they actually do full animations in the story
It
mode.
gives you a break. You get to put the controller down and go,
I mean, Street Fighter, because they actually do full animations now when you complete a story mode.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I want to know what the story mode is like in this game, Geoff. So I'm going to force you right now
All right.
to pit yourself against the game,
Okay.
because you seem to be the better player of the three of us here.
Well, I've gone the wrong
I'm not
way.
going to see beat 'em ups aren't my primary genre.
So let's go to single player. Let's see what this is all about. Now I've got to say, one thing that's irritated the shit out of me straight away. Now, how do we get to what's the story?
Go to fight, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, and then story.
Ah. Right, I gotta say, the first thing that annoyed the shit out of me, because when you said, we're gonna go for Killer Instinct today, Geoff, I was like, right, cool, let me see if I can get my 360 arcade stick out and plug it into the Xbox and play it. Well, could I do that? No. So, why Microsoft doesn't allow you to use 360 controllers, and why they don't allow you to use your old arcade sticks, your
Well, the
old
answer's
steering
easy,
wheels.
Jeff. They want you to buy the next one.
Yeah, that's the.
Why do you
that's-
think
But
Rock
what-
Band and Guitar Hero was so excited that there was a new console coming out? They were like, holy shit, we can sell more guitars, more
Yeah.
drum kits.
Well, there is an adapter to allow you to be able to use your old stuff on them, and there is also an adapter which will allow you, but it could cost you about $60. That there is an adapter which will allow you to plug in your old 360 stuff. But be warned, if you're thinking about getting a console and you think you can bring over your arcade stick from Street Fighter, I've got to press menu to continue here.
Oh wow! So his
Then
story. really
you
is-
cannot, unfortunately. And if you want to have an arcade stick on the Xbox One, you've either got to buy the adapter, which is going to probably increase your input lag times, and that's a massive no-no on these games.
Yeah.
Or you're going to have to spend £200 on an Xbox One arcade stick. 200 fucking pounds.
It is a little
So-
bit of a high price start. You know, I mean,
yeah, I mean the Pro Stick. You had an option on the 360 to buy the arcade stick, which is a little bit cheaper, but I mean it's still high quality parts. And then you had a weightier Pro Stick, which was like quite a bit more money, 120, 150 pounds, something like that. But you at least had the option of the 60, 70 pound arcade stick to enjoy. But yeah, I don't think
I've never seen this character
don't
before,
think
so I'm
you can-
distracted.
bring it into this one. Oh shit. It does not look like it's going to be very forgiving at all. Look at the state of that.
Well, what do you expect? This creature you're up against
She's
looks
got
like it's
huge
just
reach
escaped
as
out
well.
of the Ring movie
Yeah.
or The Grudge.
Yeah,
Well, hey,
clearly.
we got a game reference here, Gary. We got a game reference. She's Fear.
She's what?
It's
Yeah.
the character out of Fear.
Out of Fear.
The little girl.
Yeah, Alma.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, well.
Is it actually?
Well, no, it's not. It's not.
Oh, it's just the
It's-
Japanese
it's the
cliched
Japanese horror
evil,
child.
evil horror child, yeah. And she is absolutely murdering me.
Absolutely.
she's
Well, I gotta say, I mean, the game's visuals I think are very impressive. I kind of enjoy looking at this game much more than I do some of the others, because all these particle effects going everywhere,
Yeah.
the commentator announcing all the combos and
Yeah.
combo breakers. It's sort of very energetic and alive.
I'm dead.
Well, she's rather
But
good at that.
I don't think
Yeah.
for me this is not a game I'm going to get into competitively or even dabble in the online whatsoever. This is going to be a makeshift party game for a case of, hey, you want to kick the crap out of each other for 20 minutes
Yeah.
before moving on to something else again.
Yeah, funny button basher, classic.
I mean, that's it. I mean, this game, like I said, was a console seller for the Xbox One. There are hardcore fans out there for Killer Instinct.
Yeah, and it is a competent beat 'em up. So don't sort of think that this game is crap.
Its
as
pay model's a
such
little
in
bit
terms of the
It's
mechanics.
just the
you know?
paywall and
Yeah.
the characters at the prices, yeah.
It's probably not enough for the 40 plus price mark.
Well, I guess, yeah,
18
£40 for
Well, it
all
wasn't
the
even
characters.
18. It was like 17 characters for that much. I mean, the new Street Fighter, you'll pay a tenner extra, but it'll have more options.
Yeah.
It's probably got a bigger community if you want to play competitively. If you only want to play the
Fuck
single
my
player,
shit.
it's probably got a better single player.
Damn.
Yeah. She's still had quite a... Oh. Yeah.
Oh, she's still flying around the air.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Scary lady. Scary lady. Yeah.
The game does go on about this difficulty bonus, but I've not actually found anywhere in the menu to turn the game into easy mode for amateur hour like me.
Right. Yeah, I mean, literally, I've spent, what, 20 minutes longer than on this game than we have been recording for, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got no idea, really. All I can really comment is on how it feels to use a character that's a bit similar to the Street Fighter character that I've been using. And you know, that would probably annoy fans of Killer Instinct, to be honest, to hear us talking about this game without the real depth of understanding.
Well, that would be
of
the
it.
quite elitist thing then. I'd hope they'd be sympathetic
Yeah.
for new players maybe dabbling at it and trying to figure out whether it's for them or not.
That's
The
it, yeah.
XP system, I mean,
Now that, yeah, I noticed that I was gaining XP and I'm still on the qualifying
are we being
qualifier.
ignorant, and is there a way to unlock other things through XP, I'd assume?
Possibly, I don't know. I don't know whether the XP. I think the XP only
Could
enable you
have
to unlock more costumes and coloured skins.
Well, that's
Can't
interesting.
imagine it would be much else.
Well, if there's characters you haven't seen before that aren't on the screen like this one, maybe, it might be
It's
nice.
a
if-
season 2 character.
Oh, is that what
Yeah,
Everything I'm doing right now, she's just destroying.
just
me.
blocking it, encountering it.
Yeah, and then they're doing all these crazy combos which I don't seem to be able to break for some reason.
Supreme Vic. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, she murdered me then. It was like suddenly she got harder instead of easier.
Well, that's one thing I did like about Mortal Kombat was that after you got defeated about 10 to 15 times, the
Yeah.
game behind the scenes started to lower the difficulty for you.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen because that's. I mean, now look, I got beaten supreme. Now she's not doing anything.
yeah.
Now she's just taking my shit.
She's just lulling you in, actually. In a
Yeah,
minute, she's just going
probably.
to hit you with a
400
75 hit combo.
Yeah, probably.
Which is what happened to me earlier.
Did he yell Hadouken? Marvellous.
He does. He's an absolute rip-off of Ryu. You cannot ignore the
Oh, no,
fact
no,
that...
and I read the fluff on the
that-
way loading screen. It basically said he's tortured by a dark demon. I'm like, wow, you guys couldn't rip off
He could not have ripped off Ryu anymore. And he, instead of saying, like, Hadouken, he's like... Do Hadouken or something. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking...
Just masked slightly.
It's not, yeah, it is blatant rip-off. But that, yeah, that's... I mean, it seems like
jeez.
you really know that when you're going into this game, you're going into a game that is
Ruthlessly
clearly
unpleasant.
taking from all other areas in the genre and piecing it together. Oh, fuck off! I seem to not be able to break those. I don't understand what... I know you're supposed to be able to do something to
The
break them,
combo
but
breaker, yeah, but it's
Yeah.
hitting it at the right time, pressing the right button at the
Yeah.
right time.
And I don't really know. I mean, that's where
I think it's
you
the
know it
shoulder
always
buttons,
comes
like
down to...
Can
always
you
comes-
start memorizing it, or is it going to be starting the reflexes of?
It's reflexes for sure, but it's also knowing the moves that are the opponent's pulling on you, because you're gonna have to block low, block high, press the right buttons that have got the right timing on them to be able to then defeat the opponent.
Yeah,
so,
I've been watching, and you seem to be getting the kind of getting the right kind of attack high and then suddenly attack low.
yeah, I mean that's sort of basic skills from Street Fighter, knowing like what you can do really to
Oh.
try and
Oh,
You know.
he's done it.
Good job.
Hey.
Good job.
what you can do to
So you unlocked
like,
another
open
skin and his third color.
Up. Whee!
So I
I
mean
finally got it.
that's the sort of the addictive nature I found with Mortal Kombat is the fact that you keep unlocking things in the crypt and all the extra skins and characters and intel and bonus
Yeah,
videos.
yeah.
This game, I don't think it has that sort of appeal. I think looking at this game's storyline, I'm like dull already. It feels like just the standard Mortal Kombat tower.
There wasn't even
Defeat
a
everyone in
story
a line.
really,
No,
was there?
no.
this isn't even trying, because I mean, this is where I
It says
think
story mode, but
It
it's
will-
really
yeah.
just a lineup of the game's characters, one after the other.
Yeah, and you'll have like a nemesis at the
And
end.
it's a grind
probably.
for
A bit like
XP.
Dead or Alive, wasn't it? You just went in a line, and then you'd have one of the characters would be like, "This is your nemesis," and
But-
then there would be kind of words between them to flesh out a sort of a story.
Yeah,
there's not even
This
words.
is Balrog. Look, I'm fighting Balrog.
Yeah.
Blatantly Balrog.
absolutely. But there's also a boxer like that in Tekken, not visibly like that, but
Yeah.
same move sets.
Wow. Oh wow, that was so Balrog! Oh my god, these even got the same fucking moves. Cheeky as fuck. I don't know how they get away with it, to be honest. You think?
Well, no, again,
there must be.
I mean,
if
they
they're
are
pulling
martial
it-
art move sets
Yeah.
that they are borrowing from.
Yeah,
So
I suppose it is kind of a
Yeah,
hard
well.
thing to copy.
so you're going to see nuances
I-
of every character.
I've never
across.
seen a boxer dart across the ring with a blue flaming fist before in just a continuous
That's why
line.
it's been playing.
Well, just like that.
Like that, just like Balrog.
What I will say is,
Jesus.
we got to remember we don't know the earlier games as well Well, I've certainly.
Well, I've
If these
literally come
characters
from
are
Killer
from
Instinct
them, it
1
might not
to
be
this
as,
one.
Yeah, it might not be as unoriginal if they are in the original games. I mean,
The only characters I remember from the original are Jago, Saberwolf, and Spinal. Just because having a werewolf and a skeleton warrior in your game was that was cool for me.
I don't think maybe they were cutting edge for that. Then they added a few characters who might have been a bit more bland.
Yeah, you don't understand. These are rip-offs. You know, they're not like, oh, the Killer Instinct thought of these characters first. These are well-established characters from. No, well, they're not. They're only tropes now. They're being copied, but these were originally from. Like the daddies, you know, the Mortal Kombats and the Street
Fighters,
yeah, and they had the most original, like, new ideas for all these different characters, and then they have been copied many times because of their success. And this is clearly not really trying to think of any new ideas of its own. It's just trying to say, right, we're going to just mishmash everything together. We're not allowed to use the official licenses for all these different games together. That'd be far too expensive. So what they do is just do a kind of carbon copy with different names and slight different tweaks so that they can mishmash it all together in something that's, you know, reasonably entertaining.
Definitely, well, that's what it has to do. It has to be entertaining. And like I said, even though I've kind of had my ass handed to me in this game, I'd still want to pick up a controller and give it another go. It's still really quite nice to play and to look at. But it's not. It would not be my go-to fighting game. No. I think I will still wait and go back to Mortal Kombat in due time.
And to be honest, Street Fighter, you pay a little bit more, say, acknowledging their £40 season, £42 season pass for this.
Well, it was the 42 for both games, basically.
Yeah, but you want
for both sides of the game.
Then it gives you a full
season 1 and season 2.
It's giving you enough characters that, in many ways, makes the game comparable to Street Fighter or to Mortal Kombat.
It's not comparable to the number.
To neither.
That's my point.
If you get Super Street Fighter 4. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked at what's happening with 5 yet, so I don't know if what you're saying about it is true. But
they've left a few heroes on the bench, but they've added lots of new ones. So.
Super Street Fighter 4, like this, the Super version has a ton of characters. It was a very lovely full game.
That happens though. They do that with those games.
And they'd made a couple of real balance errors with like characters like Sagat and stuff. They had some really OP characters in there, and they just balanced those out nicely. And I mean, it always takes a bit of time to do that. The thing is, it's very hard to get it right first time for these developers, because they make characters and they think, right, we're going to make this character, he's going to do with this much power per hit type thing. And with Street Fighter, there's like a descending. The longer the combo, the less each hit damage each hit will do as it gets further into the combo, right? But you get some of those characters, and you think, oh, this character. You start playing it, and the strategy to it, and you think, oh, this is like a C grade character. There's no way this would be up in the top fucking echelons of the competitions. But then somebody comes along who learns that character and understands that character in a way that no one else does. They start winning with it, and all the tables have to readjust, and suddenly C-list characters can become B-list characters, B-list characters can become A-list characters, and you know, like, that will adjust as the pros get hold of it, and they play continuously and learn and adapt and create new sort of
I've read up on that
strategies out of it.
Some pros are famous for using heroes that are still never popular, but they do very well with them. I think
exactly.
I remember reading an article. I think it was one guy did really well with Sea Viper, a new character they added for that edition. She showed up in number 4. And she played very awkwardly, but again, it was one guy perfected how to play her, and it became hell to fight against because nobody really practiced against that.
It's why you know these games are greater than the sum of their parts, essentially, because the devs do what is just like kind of, they create the mechanics, and then it's the gamers that create the skills and
It
the
happens in all
understanding
fighting
and the
games.
strategies.
In MOBAs, I think
And-
you see the same mechanics happening, where some people take a MOBA character and
Yeah,
go straight.
it's like XCOM 2. I was watching the devs play XCOM 2 on Uber Hard, right? And I love XCOMs, yeah. So
Of course.
you got some YouTube people like Beagle Rush, etc., who are just great strategists, yeah. And they play XCOM in a way where you're just like, yeah, they could do it on the hardest impossible setting, where you're gonna die like pretty much like 9 times out of 10, and they just go through it, you know, because they've just got this understanding of the strategy that's a level above everybody else. And the devs were playing XCOM 2, and you know, it was rubbish. You know, Beagle Rush would absolutely know better how to play XCOM 2 than the guy that designed the game. Yeah. So, but that says to me that's a brilliantly designed game. You know, clearly he knows how to design stuff to make it so that it's possible to do things way beyond his own skill ability. So, yeah, I mean that's just good and clever design, and that's in this game clearly, and it's in Street Fighter, it's in Mortal Kombat, and it's in this game as well. And
Well, it's those games that stand the test of time, isn't it? It's the ones that have been built from the ground up with the game mechanics and the fighting mechanics working to that standard.
That's right. So that is in here in this. So for that, I can say I would definitely recommend this game.
Yeah.
In terms of it's a beat 'em up, and its beat 'em up mechanics are tight.
Yeah, but I would also say, I mean, this game does also get my recommendation, despite the fact that it's not for me. And also on a budget, you know, it's going to make a great party game. The only thing is you have to get more controllers for it if you're going to play at home. But
I mean, there's not much else on in the way. I mean, there's the Mortal Kombat. If you like Mortal Kombat, you like Mortal Kombat. If you like Street Fighter, then really Killer Instinct's the only thing on Xbox One for you right now, I would say, until Street Fighter 5 comes out.
Yeah.
But
that makes perfect sense.
I don't like the paywall thing, and if you can wait for Street Fighter 5,
like I said, I mean, the
I'd
thing
say
is,
it's likely
it is
you're
a
probably
free.
gonna get-
This was a free download.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
so there is.
if you got it for free, then brilliant. You know,
Yeah, no, if
nobody's
it's still free or you see it
but-
free again, pick it up. It's a freebie if you're playing for Xbox Live. But again,
Yeah.
a lot of people have issues with Sony or Microsoft charging that money for each month. But the free games, if they end up being a game you enjoy and you get value for money, I think somebody suggested when Sony started this, Microsoft copied, but Sony weren't charging for Play Online; they were just charging for the getting 2 or 3 games a month. Which it's a great system, and I think it's a great. It's improved.
Of
the
course,
services.
it's just a good game to add to your library in that sense. Yeah.
Again, that's the beauty of Xbox Live and Sony. As long as you get, I think, a game every other month, it more or less pays for itself.
Indeed. Yeah.
As long as you play those games, you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I prefer my Steam mechanic because they just give you super cheap games. They don't give you any free games. You don't have to pay any
Well, they
subscription.
do at Christmas. I did get Left 4 Dead 2 that one Christmas free.
Yeah, they did do that one time.
It was one-off. I'm not saying
I
it's
got
regular.
it. I got it for free as well. But that was just a little special treat to there.
Okay, well,
So
that's
that
going to
sounds-
bring us to the end of this episode. Just want to say thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for bearing with the excessive button tapping today. It is, of course, an especially situation with button mashing games. But just want to say thanks for watching. We'll be back next Friday with another video game. Of course, film reviews go up every Thursday. Ian will be riding solo tomorrow on Sequential Saturday's playthrough of Shell Shock Nam 67. So make sure to come back tomorrow and listen to Ian's ramblings. You can also find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.
Take it easy.
You just got my hawks.
Bastard.